Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode. And in this episode, I wanted to go ahead and start a new account and just briefly talk about account types. So, one of the things that you can do is you can build an account. You can build an account that is a bank. You can build an account that's a food or a hyper for a particular resource. You can build it to attack. You can build it to trap. Um, and then within each of those categories, there are particular types. So you can build a hyper food account. You can build a hyper or a hyper of any particular resource. You can also build within troop types of attack. You can build an infantry focused attack account or cavalry or range or whatever have you. Um, Now, that all said, uh, you can also build trap accounts that are focused on trapping infantry, cavalry, or range, and you can have general trap accounts. And so there's a lot of different ways to think about, and probably some that I haven't even mentioned yet. But rather than go on about those, I want to move on with this video. And what I'm doing today is I'm getting this particular account started, and it is going to be a attack account, but it's not necessarily going to be a traditional attack account. I'm going to start out as a T2 trap account, and then I'm going to build those up. It will be a pay to play account. I'll put in about 150 bucks every couple of weeks, and that'll accelerate this account pretty quickly and give me a lot of content to grow very quickly and show you how I would personally set up a trap account, but also how I would set up an attack account. Now, if it was just an attack account, I would quickly get to my T2, my tier 2 troops so that I can just go out there and start attacking people and get all these skirmish battles knocked out and everything like that. But that's not going to be my focus on this particular account. This particular account, I am going to focus on showing you how to build an attack account, but a lot of it's going to be initially how to trap people, and I'm going to build a trap account because I think you want to have a good base in your castle to defend yourself while you're out there attacking. Not that you have to. As a matter of fact, sometimes it's very beneficial not to have a bunch of soldiers in your castle that you can't protect, um, and that you have to stay shielded for and all that. Some people just have just enough to attack with, and they keep that amount inside their shelter, and then they have a notification that goes off every time that their shelter is exiting, or an alarm to set up, or maybe they're on every more than every 12 hours and they create that habit. But in any case, this account's going to be focused first on creating what is just a general T2 trap account, nothing specific on what type of troop that we're trying to trap. But all I'm going to do here is I'm going to move into equal amounts of troops as I start to build them. And I'm going to show you exactly how I would do that. Now, in this beginning video, all I'm doing is showing you the basics. I've already gone through all the videos. It made me do the skirmish when I clicked on it there, and then each one of these are required to build. You want to build one farm and, one of each of the other types of resource creation buildings. And then that's going to open up this one. We will go through how to attack that. We'll go over some basic settings and how to think about your talents. Um, and then we'll go over all kinds of stuff, including which packs to buy, which is going to be an important thing here. You're going to start out by not purchasing what they recommend, but one thing that you do want to purchase to start out, I'll tell you right out the gate, is this newbie special. And so I'll get to that in this next video. For this video, I did want to address a couple of things. One is just show you the basics of getting started, which it's going to walk you through some of that stuff. It's going to force you to click around. I skipped as much as possible because it's just a bore to do all that kind of stuff for me, but that's because I've done it a few times. So it might have been more exciting for you initially, which is kind of the fun of the game. Up here, you see people in the chat going off in the world chat when it's over there. Sometimes they say weird stuff, so I prefer not to have it up on the screen here if at all possible. But You really get a feel for the game. It becomes fun quickly, and you definitely have some people up here that are, you know, fun people to get to know in real life. There's humans on the other side of the screen, so um, we're all different, and it's kind of crazy to see some of those differences across the world. In any case, all right. So, but this accounts more for people that do have a little bit of experience with the game. So I'm going to move into exactly how I'm going to plan this out. Now, one thing I'll mention before we go on to that in the next video. In this video, I wanted to give you a couple of ideas of differences in the devices that you're playing on. So I happen to have an Android virtual device that I have up on my iMac at the moment. Now, I do have an Android device, which I strongly recommend you get if you're an iOS user. And that's only if you're pay to play, because it will basically pay for itself. And I'll show you how and why, or what I mean, and how to do it and all that kind of stuff later. But it's worthy of having an Android device in most cases, unless you can figure out how to put up an Android virtual device like this on your computer and make it work very effectively. Sometimes this AVD freezes up on my Mac, and so there's still, it's still a little bit touch and go. But that said, it works for the purposes I need it to, and one of the main things that you want to do is link up your account so that you can transfer between devices, and that's also something that I'll talk about here in another video coming up. Now, this video is running a little bit long for what I wanted for just initial setup and discussion of what this series is going to be, but I think that's a good starter to get you guys across the starting line of where we're headed. Now, before we hang up our coat here on the day, I strongly recommend that you link your account to Gmail. You'll be able to click on this. It'll ask you which one. Hopefully you're already signed in on your particular device. Like on this device, I'm already signed into my Gmail account before I try and link it up. Again, a good reason to have Android, because it can link up to Gmail. For some reason on iOS, they don't allow you to hook up your Gmail account. They only really let you link up Facebook account. So if you go to Switch account, or Switch device, excuse me, then you can link your Facebook device and then log in, and you can switch between devices using your Facebook account. But as far as Gmail, you can only link that from an Android device. And so it's kind of one of those, strange things that they're not giving full capabilities to all devices. This redemption code thing worked great on all my Android devices, but when they finally released it for iOS, even now, I still don't have it on my iOS device, on my iPhone specifically. And so they give you another way of going in up here, which I don't currently have because I'm not far enough in the game, but you go up there and you'll be able to claim them a different way, but half the time that doesn't even work. So I'll go into more reasons as to why Android versus iPhone, but one of the things you want to consider doing is coming in here, going into your settings and turning off all the sounds and music and clicks. That way if you pull it up somewhere that you don't want people to hear you playing a game, then they won't. So that's setting number one. And then I don't like to recommend quests while I'm in my turf. That's this thing here. If you say go, it tells you exactly what to do next. And, it'll give you some good... there's some benefit for it to... there's some benefit to it if you're new. But it gets annoying fast for me because that's not necessarily the path that we want to take, but it's constantly going to recommend that you go on that path. Now, I also like to go down here, and in the auto expand queue, I remove it, because every time you come into a window like this and then leave, it'll auto expand this queue, and it'll have all a drop down of all the activities going on. What am I building? What am I researching? How many troops do I have training? All that kind of stuff will be right here, and it'll automatically expand it. And it gets annoying because you want to look over here and view something, and it's blocking that view. So that's something I personally do. And I believe that's really all the main stuff for the time being. But that gets you set up and going on some of the very, very basics. And if you have any questions, hit me up in those comments below. If you want to see any videos, let me know there as well, that are specific to this type of account, or in general, other videos. I'll be able to create whole new accounts in the future, and so I'll take all your comments into consideration. And I'll be sure to respond to those as well. So if you have any questions, hit me up there, and I will see you guys in the next video. See ya.